Hi guys, welcome to another episode of our Shane. So we've got a belter of a question to explore in this episode. We're now back into the flow of our weekly videos after having the most wonderful break over Easter Ostera, where traditionally and annually we've come together as a clan, some of close friends and family gathering around a sacred fire and sharing time. And there was so much growth that occurred this last camp, which was really mirroring what was going on in the natural world around us. And over the next couple of weeks I will be sharing a little video insight into that journey as the clan gathered around that fire, and some of what happened and some of the things that were incredibly important to us at this time. I think the more time goes by, the more I can kind of feel the importance of spending more and more time within that world, where things feel very natural, feel very real, they feel very kind of simple and uncomplicated. You know, years going back, the best part of maybe 15, 20 years ago, a quote come to me very simply. It was kind of a strap line, if you like, of what felt to be really important, was simple truths for a complicated world. And I would say that is more relevant today than it has ever been, and it's something I feel very passionate about, which is some of the reasons why I share what I do share, some of the reasons why I feel myself almost in a way kind of pulling back from certain other aspects of the world around me. You know, I find it really hard these days to be around anything that hasn't got kind of some sense of depth or meaning or purpose to it. And the more I crave to sit around that fire, put that cast kettle on top of it and just slowly watch it boil. You know, it's a metaphor, but there's a lot of truth in that. You know, I think the world moves way too quickly, way too fast. I think there's so much about modern life that's frenetic, and I don't feel that we're designed to live that way. I think there's a big part of modern day life that is overstimulated or over hurried or even over demanded. So yeah, anyway, I will be sharing some insights into that video as we go forwards, and as we go forwards I've got some really exciting news to share with you, and about some of my own growth as well as we go forwards. But here's the belter of the question, okay, for this week's Our Shame, which this video is brought to you by the Academy of Holistic Mediumship in working partnership with www.shanegad.com. So here's the question. Hi Shane, I've got a couple of questions for your Our Shane series. Past lives, and this is going to be a corker. I'm a great believer in reincarnation for our spiritual growth. With each lifetime experience, a soul will evolve, and during each incarnation we will connect with other souls on their journey, and this will form part of our learning. So if I've experienced many incarnations over many lifetimes, where does each of my previous life identities lie? During each lifetime I have made many connections with other souls. So if I have a past connection with someone now, who am I to them when I die? Who do I become in spirit? Can I become 6, 7 or 8 previous identities and nurture the relationships from each separate incarnation? Also, we tend to reincarnate. Do we tend to reincarnate into the same general location or country? Bye for now. Love that ending. Bye for now. After dropping the biggest question in the world, bye for now. That was from Elaine, one of our Academy members, who always does seem to produce the most punchiest and thought-provoking and weighty of questions that also, you know, in a way Spirit love to get their teeth into, also in a way really gets me to dig deep and share some of what so many people probably kind of think about, so many people kind of wonder about, but don't always ask those questions. So let's break this down. Okay, beautiful question. So if I've experienced many different incarnations over many lifetimes, I just want to pick up on that for a moment. Is I often say, if I'm working at the level that I'm working, and I kind of know the depth of that kind of level, that kind of relationship that I have with the innate. If I'm working at that level, is it that I've just developed that in this lifetime? Of course not. Okay, I have a real strong belief that is fueled and motivated and driven by the innate, that this is not something that we learn, it's something we remember. Okay, you don't learn this, you remember it. Okay, you don't learn to become a healer, you remember to become a healer. You don't learn to become a holistic medium, you remember that you are a holistic medium. And is it just found within one lifetime? Absolutely not. This is about many lifetimes, many lifetimes, walking the craft, walking the path, working with your craft and art. And it's just that when you're born into the next lifetime, there's certain conditions around it that may nourish it or nurture it. I.e., for me, I have a family that historically, going back around about 4 or 5 generations, have had sight, had knowing, had dreams, had a sense of knowing about them, and the same in a diluted form that we don't know going back far enough back, have been on the other side of the family. So is it that you're born into an environment, you're born into a situation that can nourish and nurture and importantly help you to remember who you are? Okay, so if I've experienced, Elaine's wonderful question, if I've experienced many different lifetimes, incarnations over many lifetimes, where does each of my previous life identities lie? Okay, so we've established that we are who we are through previous lifetimes. You don't just become this, you are it. It's a bit like you hear these incredible stories of these young children that take to a piano 2-3 years old and they can play like a master. You hear these stories, and then you see these videos of these incredible kind of films and programs and documentaries, and these incredible children being able to just take to a piano and play like they've played for many lifetimes. And there's the key, they have. So I feel that it is, if I've experienced many different incarnations over many lifetimes, without a doubt, where does each of my previous life identities lie? Where does each of my previous life identities lie? They lie within us. They are a part of us, which I feel, okay, see that picture there on the wall? Is that my spirit guide, or is it a reflection of my past identity? I'm absolutely convinced about what I'm about to say to you, that our spirit guides are absolutely a aspect of self. I asked Spirit about this on many occasions, and one of the first occasions when I felt her in her original form, and I said to her, "Who are you and what are you about?" Her reply to me was, "Who are you and what are you about?" There was such a powerful clue. That was, without a doubt, a real clue. Okay, they were beginning to show me, they were beginning to play the hand, they were beginning to kind of take me on a deeper journey. Okay, who are you and what are you about? Profound answer. Lightning speed, knocked me off my feet. I spent the next few years exploring that. To be honest, I've never stopped exploring that. Okay, and I think, you know, as I go forward, some of what I'm about to share with you going forwards about my own development, hopefully going to nurture some inspiration in your own development, you know, is born out of those things of who are you and what are you about. Who are you and what are you about? You know, so I truly believe that being a guide actually is a reflection of self. And I know wonderful Elaine has had an experience with her own portrait, and I kind of do wonder, you know, is it that a spirit guide's a separate entity, or are they an aspect of self? And I remember kind of prodding spirit a little bit deeper and saying to them, you know, what is a spirit guide about, and is it us or is it a separate identity, a separate entity and identity? And spirit said, listen, would be real tall order, would it not, Shane, of someone being there present around you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The only person that does that is self. Okay, having the presence of self. So I think, you know, spirit guides are an aspect of self. What I believe they are is a reflection of previous incarnations. I feel this so strongly that they are a reflection of previous incarnations. They're an aspect of self. So where does those previous life identities lie? They lie within the soul. And then we could say, where is the soul? It is our essence. It is an untangible yet tangible kind of concept. It's something that is hard to touch, and yet when you say to people, where is your soul, you know, there's this gesturing of something deep inside of you. Yet we're quite physically, you know, we're not deep, we're not like a huge cave, yet we are, you know, we all have this sense of this inner self. And I kind of feel that that is in a way the memory, the essence of those many incarnations is like woven in to the fabric of who we are. You know, if you can kind of visualize that for a moment, of weaving into fabric, and a memory and experience. And actually within some traditions around the world, the Sami people, the Navajo, the indigenous Aborigines, they talk about weaving in the experiences into medicine blankets, into ponchos, weaving in the experience. You know, I kind of believe that the experiences of what we traverse through life and lives get weaven and woven into the soul. Okay, so where does each of my previous life identities lie? Really huge question. I think it's almost hardwired. It's almost like a tape recording. It's almost like a woven piece of fabric that attaches itself to the soul. And during this lifetime, especially for myself, I believe there's many of my past experiences waking up to best serve me, and in a way to also really serve the world around me. And I don't say that lightly. You know, I can feel them waking up in me. You know, I could feel that in the last 2 years fully waking up in me. And as I go forwards over the weeks and months, sharing some of what I'm going to share with you, you'll see the depth of how important that is and how it all weaves and bolts together. So during each lifetime I have made many connections with many other souls. So if I have a past life connection with someone now, who am I to them when I die? I feel that in a way you present yourself um, as that previous incarnation that at some level you may recognize, you may know, so you have someone coming to you, like recently I had someone channel a gentleman called Jack for me, and absolutely without a shadow of doubt I recognize Jack. Jack has shown himself in this way to me many a time, and there's such a familiarity in the way that he's described, the detail, everything about him, is what I felt and what is familiar to me. So if someone's going to show up to you in spirit, they're going to show up in a way that is familiar to you, or in a way that can trigger a memory. And I'm not about talking about a memory of this time, I'm talking about a memory beyond this time. Some of the things I've spoke to you about before is my trip and my journey up into the Scottish Highlands many years ago, before I had the physical challenges that I have now, and way back. And I can remember turning around this kind of ridge line on these mountains, and these were the Cairngorms, and I'm looking out across the Cairngorm mountains, and I got this sense of returning home, yet I'd never been there in my life. I'd never been to Scotland in my life, and I got this sense of a croft mountainside, a lady with long red hair, and funny enough, so very long red hair, lady with long red hair, and these children playing, and everything living in harmony. And I got this sense that I was walking back home. By the end of the day, I turned this valley, looked across, and there was the remains of a very old croft, a settlement, stone dwelling, and I just literally burst into tears. I'm a very grounded person, as many of you know. This experience washed over me, grabbed hold of me, and knocked the stuffing out of me. I was this sense of I had returned back home, and I felt all this emotion that I'd reached home. Very powerful experience that I could not understand. Thereafter I had many dreams of living in the mountains, living that life. That's not anything I've experienced in this lifetime, so it raises a huge question, and it raises the question of those memories that I believe are woven strands into the soul, and also the people that you've shared lifetimes with. Is it that's a guide? Is it that's a fragmentation? Or I don't like to use the word fragmentation, although what I'm trying to get across is it's a separate aspect of self. Or is it someone you've known before? Okay, long red hair. I had this memory of this lady with long red hair living in total harmony, real harmony, within that mountainside, living a very uncomplicated, simple life. And it's something that I feel like at the top of the video, I feel really tongue-tied, propelled towards. I feel this kind of magnetizing energy propelling me towards that style of life, that lifestyle, and I live a very kind of, I believe, a meaningful life already, yet there's more depth to go, and I'm just kind of allowing that to unravel. Certain things become less important as you go forwards, and it's just gently just nourishing and nurturing and feeding, and allowing that to unravel, and importantly just staying kind of rooted with it all. So who I am to them when I die, who do I become in spirit? Absolutely, if you've had a number of incarnations, who do you become in spirit? And the answer from Spirit is you become yourself. Then, you know, don't be funny, smart asses, clever answer, but who is self? I think that's the key question, and that's what Spirit was saying to me when I said to her in her original form, who are you and what are you about? Her reply to me is, who are you and what are you about? I think that's what Spirit are getting at. This is something I'm really going to pick up on next week's video as well, and we're going to explore this a little bit more, a little bit deeper. What we're going to pick up on is who are you when you go to Spirit? Okay, who do I become in Spirit? Can I become 6, 7 or 8 previous identities and nurture the relationships from each separate incarnation? Beautiful question. Also, do we tend to reincarnate into the same general location or country? Bye for now. Beautiful question. So let's next week just pick up on, who do I become in Spirit? Who do I become in Spirit? Okay, hopefully that's giving you a lot of food for thought. I love to hear your comments. I love to hear your feedback. I love to hear your thoughts on all of this. And in the meantime, keep shining and keep sending in the questions. It's always such a heartfelt pleasure. It's wonderful to be back doing the videos, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care, keep shining. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.